If you've eaten in an upscale restaurant recently, you've noticed that the price of your favorite fine dining meal has skyrocketed. Interestingly enough, the greater percentage of these high-priced menu items with fancy French names are pretty easy to make at home. Join me right here at the stovetop while I show you how to make one of my favorite cooked like a chef meals, steak Diane with skillet roasted baby carrots and potato medallions. I have 2 filet mignon, about 1.5 pounds total weight, sliced in half and lightly pounded. Yes, the cost of these 2 steaks was $26, but this meat is going to serve 4 people. In a restaurant, one of these 4 pieces would cost you $35 to $40. Additionally, I've got some salt and pepper and butter for seasoning and sautéing the meat. I'll be adding some diced onion, mushrooms, and parsley to the skillet too. And to make our sauce, I've stirred together a mixture of beef stock, cream, steak sauce, and Dijon mustard. A little bit of red wine is the last thing I need to deglaze the pan, and this meal will almost be ready to eat. I've melted 4 tablespoons of butter in my skillet. I'm just swirling it around a little bit. I'm going to season the butter with some salt and some pepper. I like lots of pepper. I'm going to turn my heat up, get this nice and bubbly and hot, and I'm going to add my 4 steaks to the pan. I'm going to saute those on almost high heat for 2.5 minutes per side to get a good medium rare after they've rested. These are just about at the 2.5 minute mark. I'm going to season the tops of these with salt and pepper. And I'm going to carefully flip them over. Never stick a fork in a cooking steak. Never, ever. And now I'm going to let them cook for about 2 to 2.5 minutes on the second side. 2.5 minutes on the second side. These are done. I've turned my heat way down. I'm going to transfer these 4 steaks to a warm plate. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to cover them with foil and I'm going to put them in a really low 200-degree oven to keep warm and rest for about 15 minutes while I'm preparing the sauce and the rest of the meal. I've got all these beautiful brown drippings in the bottom of the pan, and that's called fond in French. And I'm going to add about a cup of onion. Shallots would be nice too. And 2 cups of diced, I'm using baby Bella mushrooms. You can use your favorite kind. I'm going to lightly salt these and lightly season them with some pepper too. And I'm going to cook these, stirring them constantly or keeping them moving in the fond for about 4 to 5 minutes. My mushrooms and onions have been sauteing for about 4.5 to 5 minutes. I've got a beautiful brown on these mushrooms, which is going to give this a really nutty flavor. I'm going to deglaze my pan with about 4 tablespoons, 1/4 cup of red wine. And I'm using a nice sweet port to do that. Oh, doesn't that look gorgeous? I'm going to let this cook off for just maybe 20-30 seconds. And I'm going to add that mixture of stock and cream and Dijon mustard and steak sauce. Great flavors in that. and about 4 tablespoons of parsley, about a 1/4 cup. And I'm going to reach for my spoon and I'm going to stir this around, and I'm going to let this simmer for 3 to 4 minutes till it's reduced by 1/3 to 1/2 and it's a nice thick sauce. My mushroom sauce has simmered for about 5 minutes, is reduced by about 1/2. It's glorious, if I do say so myself. It just smells fabulous. I'm going to turn this off, cover this, and I'm going to set it aside back on the counter. I'm just going to let it sit. It's going to stay really warm while I quickly show you how to pan roast a few vegetables. Everyone loves to eat roasted carrots and potatoes, and my method for doing them quickly in a skillet in about 8 to 10 minutes is too easy to be true. I've heated about 1/8 of an inch of peanut oil in the bottom of this skillet. Feel free to use corn oil. I'm going to add 8 to 10 baby carrots. The carrots are scrubbed but unpeeled. They're just trimmed and cleaned, the kind they use in the fancy French restaurants. And then I'm just going to fill the skillet with 1/2 inch thick sliced russet potatoes. How many that fit depends on how big the russet potatoes are, and these were huge. Okay, that looks great. Give them a real good season with salt and pepper. And we're just going to let these cook for about 5 minutes on one side. Then I'm going to flip them over, and when they're golden brown on both sides, we're going to put this meal on the table because I'm starving. It's been about 4 minutes, and my carrots are getting nice and caramelized on one side, so I'm going to flip them over. And you probably should know that these skinny little baby carrots are always going to cook just a little bit faster than the potatoes. So I'm going to let them cook for a couple more minutes, maybe 2, because they're almost done all the way through. I'm going to transfer them to a plate, and then I'm going to finish cooking my potatoes for the last 3 or 4 minutes on the second sides. Diane was the Roman goddess of the hunt, and this divine meal is perfect for every and any special occasion you can think of, including just making your family feel special. It feeds 4 for the price of 1 restaurant meal, and you get to show off and cook like a chef. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website,